Well, welcome to Focus Today. Delighted to have in the studio with us today Terri Rassmussen with Redemption Ridge. And if you haven't heard about this ministry, well, listen up, because this is a whole new outreach, and it's happening right here in Southern Oregon. And it really reaches into a critical area of our culture. Terri, nice to have you with us. How you doing, my friend?
Good.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you bet. Redemption Ridge, for those who haven't heard, hopefully a lot of people have, but those who haven't heard, what is it?
Well, it's a ministry reaching out to, specifically in our case, teenage girls who have been victims of the sex trafficking industry. A lot of people think that that's something that goes on in the third world countries, right. But the United States is one of the leading countries in the world for sex trafficking, human trafficking, and Oregon is one of the leading states in the nation per capita for sex trafficking. We have extremely lax laws. We have the highest per capita rate of strip clubs in the nation. We have a high homeless rate as far as teenagers, and you put all those things together and you get a lot of teens that are being trafficked and sold for sex, and the average age of entry for sex trafficking is junior high age.
Well, I mean, when you hear these statistics and these numbers, your brain just goes on tilt. And I think, if I heard correctly also, Jackson County has high numbers in this area.
They do have high numbers, and it's getting in and locating. The difficult part of the sex trafficking industry is it's all done underground. It's done online. It's not like the girls are standing out on the corner and people say, well, where's it going on? We're not seeing it. There's one website that we can check here in Southern Oregon on a weekly basis, and on average on the weekend you'll find somewhere between 30 and 35 girls, women for sale here in the local area. Wow.
All right, so Redemption Ridge is to reach out and get these women out of this trade and redeem their lives. And how do you do that?
Well, that's difficult, but you work with authorities, law enforcement, DHS, those types of organizations, including FBI. And it's difficult because a lot of times the girls don't feel like they're victims. They feel like this guy is their boyfriend, this pimp who's taken control of their lives as a boyfriend. And what he's done is he's lured them out, acting like a boyfriend, giving them love, saying the things that they have lacked hearing at home. And it's one of the reasons the girl is vulnerable, is because the home life has been horrible, or she's been abused at home. Finally, this guy comes along, tells her everything she wants to hear. Oh, but if you'll just do this, then we'll have a little bit of money. And so she's caught into this whole thing, feeling she's being loved finally, and she's just got to do this for her boyfriend, and the boyfriend is actually a pimp, and his whole design from the get-go was nothing about relationship, it's about money. It's about making money off the girl. So you have to convince the girl and help her to understand through a whole lot of different ways that she's actually a victim, and then she needs a lot of help from there.
Now, I've heard stories, and we've even interviewed some folks that have come out of this, and the life that they're in and the deception they live in is unbelievable, but the road to recovery is very bumpy, isn't it?
It's very bumpy. You're referring to Rebecca Bender, who works with our organization. She's one of the healthiest ones that we've met who's come out of human trafficking. The bottom line is, unless the Lord redeems your life, you're covering up, you're just trying to get on with life without the redemptive power of the Lord. So our focus is a holistic approach. There will be trauma counseling and working with different counselors, but the bottom line is, unless Christ redeems you, there can't be complete healing. And it's one reason Rebecca has been able to heal as much as she has, and yet there's still a lot of scars in her life as well.
All right, so Redemption Ridge is outreach to these victims, and you've put the program together. I know you're going through all the licensing, which is in itself pretty challenging. Now you know how big bureaucracy it really is, huh? Yeah, okay. But a couple things. You got a fundraising event coming up. Tell us about it.
Well, on August 3rd, we're having the Redemption Run and Dinner event out at Edenvale Winery, which is the Voorhees Mansion out on Voorhees Road.
Oh, yeah, right.
And early in the morning, we're going to have a 5K, 10K run, and the run's going to actually be out through the orchards and the vineyards of the winery.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
It's going to be a beautiful run. And then in the evening, we're going to have a catered dinner at the Voorhees Mansion, at the outdoor venue there. Should be beautiful. We're going to have Detective Jim Williams from the Medford Police Department, who specializes in crimes against children. He will come and share what he's learning about human trafficking in Southern Oregon. And Rebecca Bender will also be sharing that evening. And we've also met another mom here recently whose daughter is in a treatment center in San Diego who was trafficked out of this area. And she's going to come from a mom's perspective and just share for a minute or two about what's happened to her daughter. Her daughter was trafficked out of here all the way to New York City.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of girls in Oregon get trafficked out of the area. The main location of young girls in Vegas that are being trafficked come from Oregon.
Really?
Yes.
Now, first of all, how do they sign up for this and be a part of this event?
RedemptionRidge.com.
Okay.
You can go to our events page. It's right there. You can sign up for just the run. You can sign up for just the dinner. Or if you sign up for both, you get a little bit of a discount.
Okay.
But, yeah.
And that's coming up August 3rd.
August 3rd. It's a Saturday.
All right, so check it out, redemptionridge.com. Let's support this, and if you're a runner, go out and do this. If you're not a runner, go find a runner and sponsor them. But all the proceeds are going to go help Redemption Ridge, and great opportunity for you to learn more about it. You know, so often we see the missing children things,
Yes.
you know, posters. And I've heard that a good majority of those are abducted right into sex trade.
Yes, some are abducted, and some are simply lured away without anyone, without them telling their parents. So it appears to be an abduction of some sort, but these guys are very manipulative. They study the girls, they find out what they want, and then they look for the vulnerable girl. They're not looking for the healthy girl who has a lot of self-confidence. They're looking for the one that's struggling, that's down and out. She probably has a history of abuse already. So the ability to manipulate is very easy for these guys. And a lot of these girls that come up missing do end up being found in the sex trade, usually out of the area.
Now, is it true that they keep these girls on the move? So it's hard to grab them because they're being moved all the time.
Yep, they keep them on the move to keep them disoriented. They can't keep relationships going on or establish relationships for help. There keeps the law enforcement on their heels so that they don't know where they're at. If they're in an area for a long period of time, law enforcement can focus in on them. But if they keep them moving, and there's a track called the West Coast Track where they move them from the north, which is the Seattle area, all the way down through LA, out through Vegas, back up through Oregon, and Medford Grants Pass is a jump-off point, either as a cutoff point before they head over towards Vegas, or to move on down through I-5. And so we actually have some relationships with some people who work in the local motels, and Rebecca's been called in a couple of times to a motel, talking to girls who have been trafficked, dealing with that kind of thing.
And at that point, that becomes the contact point by which hopefully you can get them out and minister to them.
Yeah. What you do is you try and begin setting seeds, planting seeds within them, because, again, they feel like their boyfriend left them, or their boyfriend is...
They've been abandoned
or something.
Yeah.
It's a boyfriend thing. You'll never hear them say, I'm being trafficked. They don't understand the term, I'm being trafficked. They don't understand that. So what they feel like is either their boyfriend's with them, or the boyfriend's coming back to get me, or my boyfriend's dropped me off here. We had a situation in Grants Pass not too long ago where there was a couple of girls hanging out in the laundry room because the boyfriend, pimp, had taken off and left them there. They'd been brought up from Vegas, and there was some exchange or situation going on there, and he had to flee. And he doesn't care. He'll go find another girl or whatever. He's going to save his skin, and he left the two girls, who both call him boyfriend, at the motel in the laundry room, and they were stranded.
Wow. All right, now, the authorities going to work with you on this?
Yes. Yes, we're building those relationships.
And the girls obviously have to come to you on a voluntary basis. They
do, or parental consent, because what we're focusing in on is minors. So really, the fact is there's no to very few beds in Oregon specific to human trafficking victims for minors. So we'll be, we believe, the first facility open, and we have been given a building to remodel and get up and going. And we're working on some conditional use permits, which I'll be dealing with on Thursday evening this week. And we've got,
for you guys on that.
you know, a lot of stuff going on. But they need a place where they can heal, where they're safe, where they can just settle down from the pace of having been trafficked. And then we need to introduce them to who Christ is. And they just need to learn daily living skills. They need to learn all the things that they've lacked, either through abuse at their own home or abuse from trafficking. And they also need to catch up on their education. These girls are not in school anywhere, so there's just much to the healing process that needs to take place.
Boy, it's just part of our culture that we just we want to turn our head away from, but we can't. I think that's part of why we're here as believers, to reach into all areas and rescue people. It's called Redemption Ridge, and you can learn more about it by going to redemptionridge.com. And let's get out and support them. Coming up August 3rd is going to be a dinner and a fun run, and you can go to Redemption Ridge to sign up for that. If you're a runner, you got a 5K and a 10K?
Correct.
Ooh. How about a walker?
Come on out. Come on out.
I used to run. I don't run anymore. Okay, and then for the dinner, and you'll learn more about it. But let's support this outreach, because it's an incredible thing, and I just commend you guys for being called to do that. I mean, how did you get called to do this, Terry? I mean, what did the Lord do to you to say, go do this?
Well, it actually began for me through my wife, who went to an awareness event out at Trail Christian Fellowship. There was a detective down from Portland and some other people who came down and shared. And she tried to get me to go out, and I think there was a football game on. You know, it's a typical, nah, I don't need to do that. And she came home absolutely shocked, began telling me what was going on. We began to really get on the internet and explore the issue. And when you realize that junior high girls are being taken right out of your community for this, you can't sit on the sideline anymore.
You can't.
You just can't.
Well, thanks for doing it, and thanks. Keep us posted. But again, check it out. Be a part of their event coming up August 3rd, redemptionridge.com. Learn more about it. Let's support them. And best to you. We'll be praying for all your permits coming up
Thanks,
next
Barry.
week. All right, we'll be right back.